Hello there, my very good friends. On today's wrestling news, I'm going to tell you about the AEW star that WWE are very high on.
WWE had WrestleMania plans for the NWO before Scott Hall's sad passing.
We will tell you what Pete Dunne really thinks about being called Butch.
And an AEW star heaps praise on WWE. I'm Adam Wilborn.
And I'm Andy Murray.
And this is the news on a Friday, no less.
We
Look
got
at that.
Colin the alligator. We've got, what's the...
Alan the crocodile.
Alan the crocodile. What a great day. We have fun at our vocation.
You don't have your man to work here. What else?
Hey, oi. Put it on the desk like David Brent.
Let's start it off right. Oh!
Get that slow motion in nice and early. Right, we should probably do some news stories.
Yeah, probably.
Right, we're gonna. I'm speaking full Scottish. I've gone full Aberdeen.
I can.
What's happening? So there's this guy in AEW, Ken. His name's Ethan Page, and WWE kind of like him, eh?
They're not the only ones. The tightest tits in the game.
I'll speak English now, not Aberdeen. So WWE are admirers of Ethan Page. Now, they're kind of out of luck here. I imagine Tony Khan actually sent WWE the Lucas Leiva unlucky after this, because Ethan Page has just signed a new contract with AEW, so he's obviously unattainable. He's going to be there a while longer. We covered this yesterday. But Andrew Zarian of the Mat Men Pro Wrestling Podcast, of course, was talking about this, saying that Page is, in his words, another dude WWE is very high on, adding that people in the company like his whole deal. Elaborating on it a little bit, commented on his good TV look, his ability on the microphone as things that would be attractive to WWE. He's tall, and he's a very good looking man. Very good looking. And very charismatic as well. And a good wrestler. Ethan Page is quite good. You post that on Twitter, right?
Hot take.
Post that on Twitter as a hot take. You'll get 7,000 likes.
Pass it on.
Yeah. It's like when people go, hey, you know what, guys? I think Cesaro, he's not bad. But yes. We've gone full nuts today.
No great surprise this. Like, I talked about this yesterday. I think you and I are both fans of Ethan Page.
I think he's awesome.
AEW should be doing more with him, possibly even as a solo star. I'm not suggesting they should break up many of the year, but Scorpio Sky's doing solo stuff. Why can't Ethan Page? Yeah, he just comes across, like you say, as a don't take this the wrong way, as a WWE style guy.
I think he would really thrive in that system. Like, he's got like that outward personality. He's very big. He's very brash. He projects really well, and he's very handsome, as we've said twice.
Yes.
But yeah, I can completely see why WWE would be interested in him. He's obviously tied down to AEW, but maybe if they don't push him to a level, WWE might go, hey, come over in 3 years or whatever.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting when we get sort of, I know Cody's gone that way, but more sort of steals. I think Cody was just sort of fed up with AEW from the reports we seem to be getting. Money, we may find out one day, we may never find out, if we're perfectly honest. But yeah, in terms of gets for AEW, I think Ethan Page would be near the top of that list, as well as someone like MJF, who we're going to be talking about in a bit.
Interesting guy.
Yeah.
MJF, isn't he?
Right, we've got to shift over and talk about the NWO, because WWE reportedly had big plans for them over at WrestleMania weekend. This is according to Fightful Select. No crap, just sap. It feels weird saying that as part of this story, because the report states that Scott Hall, and the rest of the NWO members would have been there to promote WWE 2K, of course. They've been featured. There's the special edition of the game, isn't there? The NWO For Life edition. But of course, none of that can happen because of Scott Hall's sad passing, which is one of those things that you think you've gotten over, and then I read this story today, and it hits you in another way.
Yeah, it's tough, because Scott Hall, for people of our age, has been with us our entire wrestling fandoms. Like, even after he stopped competing and stuff, he's always been very active in interviews and media appearances and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's just a horrible situation. I think it would be really nice if they could find a way to use the NWO guys in a little tribute for Scott Hall over Mania weekend. I think that would be a nice thing to do. Obviously, they've got a video game to promote, whatever. But like, it would be good to see those guys, able to celebrate the guy. I mean, if they want to, maybe they don't want to.
Exactly. Yeah, it's been so touching just to see. I mean, Kevin Nash has been the most obvious one in terms of just opening his heart out on social media. Well. Yeah, and Waltman, God,
like Bret Hart posted a really nice, it's just, man, you know how we feel about this stuff. It's a sad situation, but I obviously rest in peace. And thoughts and
exactly, yeah, just to reiterate.
good vibes and whatever else we can send to the friends and family.
Indeed.
In the situation. We're going to move over and talk about Pete Dunne. Of course, a couple of weeks ago on SmackDown, he got a rather controversial name change. Butch, that's his name now. Called up from
They've
NXT.
always been calling him, Andy. Sheamus said him and Ridge have always been calling him Butch.
Yeah, you might know him as something else, but we call him
always
Butch.
said.
Aye.
Is Butch?
You know what we call you in the office?
No, I don't want
Frank. There you go.
to. I dodged a bullet. I'm perfectly honest.
I like the name Frank. It's a good
Yeah.
one.
Do you know what I was going to be called IRL if I wasn't
that?
called Adam? Ted.
Ted.
It would have been
You
so
told me
much
that before.
cooler.
I was almost Hugh, right? So my name is Andrew Hugh Murray. That's what the H actually says.
Ah, what, is that a reveal?
It is a big reveal. But that's my granddad's names, Andrew and Hugh. They decided, my mum and dad, well, if we make him Hugh Andrew Murray, his initials are Ham and he's going to get bullied. So there you go.
Let's just call him Andy Murray. Nothing could possibly go wrong there.
We still got 2 stories to do. Pete Dunne, what does he think? What does he think of being called Butch? He's cool with it. That's the summary. He was on his friend Mark Andrews' podcast, My Love Letter to Pro Wrestling.
That is a genuinely really good podcast.
Yeah, Mark Andrews.
Not as good as ours, but it's good.
Andrews is a really endearing guy, isn't he?
Yeah,
really
exactly.
cool guy to listen to. Talking about the name change, here's what Pete Dunne had to say. The thing is, with me, whether it's a name or whatever changes, that's not really what endeared me to the audience in the first place. I like to think that it's the quality of the in-ring work, and that's what I'm going to keep the same, of course, and it's going to get better. It's going to improve as time goes on. So saying that my connection to the crowd is not my name, so the name doesn't matter so much, it's what happens in the ring. He continued a little bit, talking about moving to the main roster. It's exciting, I've been in NXT for 5 years now, so time to change it up and see what we can do and push forward with a new challenge. It's also just a little bit different. I think it's time to change it up a little bit. 5 years, fresh start, why not try something a little bit new? So he's been Pete Dunne, certainly since I knew him in wrestling. Going back to pre-WWE when he was on the British Indies.
WCPW.
Yeah, there you go. We'll take credit for another
One match, I think, to be fair, but
yeah.
it still counts.
Yeah, there you go. My philosophy on this stuff is that some things are different. Gunter. 9 times out of 10, when someone gets a silly name, you go nuts for a couple of weeks and go, this is dumb, and then you just kind of forget about it, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. One hopes it's a bit like the Shorty G situation. Because like you say, you can't see WrestleMania 40 being headlined by Butch versus Madcap Moss. You hope that they will see the light eventually and go, you're Riddick? Was it Riddick Moss?
That's right.
You're
That's
Riddick
right.
Moss, you're Pete Dunne, you're human people, so we'll just give you actual names. It's a weird thing. It's just a phase. He's just at that age, Vince McMahon, which is 70-something.
Yeah. We used to joke about the Retribution members, like having wacky names and stuff, but Butch is interesting. There's only one Butch I recognise active in pro wrestling today, by the way, and you know who that is.
Who's that?
So, it's the Butcher.
Indeed.
Bunkhouse.
Right, let's talk about my best friend, Maxwell Jacob Friedman.
No.
He has been on with Ariel Helwani,
Yeah.
who's another
great
does
Ariel
great
Helwani.
podcast.
He's sensational.
Not as good as WhatCulture Wrestling, unfortunately.
He's a rookie.
And he has been heaping praise on WWE, Andy. Tongue, I think, firmly placed in his cheek. But let me read it and you tell me how you feel about this. I think WWE is doing great. I love everything that WWE is doing. I just think, we're fresh, talking about AEW, and we have fresh faces that people haven't seen before. But I think that right now, everything that Vince and Bruce Pritchard are putting out there is absolutely incredible. I love it. I love NXT 2.0. I love Raw. I love SmackDown. I love what Roman's doing. I think the big difference, quite frankly, is that AEW has MJF. He is the difference maker.
Sure.
That's the biggest difference maker you could possibly have. He continued talking about 2.0, Andy, and he said, I genuinely love WWE programming. It's great. There's so many charisma machines on that program. I think it's a great show. They had a Makeout competition this past Tuesday. Gripping television. How could you not like a Makeout competition? I practically had a Makeout competition with that hot redhead a couple of weeks ago. Who doesn't like a good Makeout sesh? I love you, MJF.
I will say this of this story, and then we'll move on. I think MJF is incredibly smart.
And incredibly correct.
Who doesn't love a makeout session on your wrestling show, right?
Yep.
Yeah. It was a competition as well.
Oh, God, they've just realised the comments are going to... Just that it's Friday.
Yeah.
Let's just...
Hey, look, if this is how we treat our Friday, how are you treating yours?
Exactly.
And speaking of that,
Oh.
you know what we do with the Twitter questions? I put out the thread in the morning, UK time. You reply with your worst questions you can think of.
Wacky.
Zany. Half of them are about The Fiend every week.
Of course.
It's great. This week, they were so dumb, and that's a compliment. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
I had to take 5 of them. Right, I couldn't narrow it down to 3, and believe me,
bumper edition.
I could have done like 20 of these. Thank you
for this.
The first one, and we're going to start with Michael Sidgwick, because he's from The Office.
Okay.
We're going to do him first. He asked, what would happen if Malachi Black misted Fiend?
Oh!
How would he change the Fiend? Because the Fiend changes people as well, remember?
Yes.
Turned Jerry Lawler into a...
He turned Braun Strowman into a dancer, I think, didn't he?
He turned himself into...
What would he change the Fiend into? I'd like it if he was more, OG clown. Like, he gets a flower that squirts water at him, you've got a honky nose.
I think he's
still, at his core, Fiend.
I think he's going to turn him into Alexa Bliss somehow. That's my theory, but let us know down in the comments section.
Oh, that's the next. I'm gonna have to work on that. It's gonna percolate with me for the rest of
I might do an
today.
editorial on that, actually.
Yeah.
That's my day sorted. We got a question here from the legend, Fraser Cranium, who asks, this is something else. If, as posited by history's most illustrious minds, philosophy's true purpose is the reconciliation of biological disparity in the pursuit of truth, then gentlemen, I must ask you thusly, what would make for a softer pillow for a nice nap? Albert's back hair or Rikishi's bottom?
Ooh, by the way, thanks to Fraser Cranium channeling that question as Keith Lee for a second. Albert's got some, he's got...
Yeah. This is an issue because I think Rikishi's ass would be softer. Probably smell
You'd
a
have to
little
face
bit.
a certain way.
Right.
I think actually as well, as much as there is a sizable ass that he's got on him, he's still an athlete. He's still got some meat on them bones. So I'm going to go with the back hair.
I'm going with the ass. I'm sleeping on Rikishi's ass. That's what we're doing with this one. The back hair is a good shout.
What are you watching, dear? Just watching the news? I'm going with the ass.
Watching the wrestling. Watching the very normal wrestling news here. We have got an actual wrestling question
What?
here. Comes to us from Craig at Pro Wrestling Musings. Shoutouts to Craig, who says, and this is the dumbest question I've ever had. Explain why Raw is actually good.
Well, it's the best show of the week. It's the best show of the week. It's the longest show, which means it's obviously the best. Apparently that works for Lord of the Rings, so we can put it in here.
Yeah.
Long equals good, apparently.
War and Peace.
Yeah, exactly. It's a feature-length film every Monday night. I don't know what more do you want? A feature-length film starring Dana Brooke and Akira Tozawa.
Raw is actually good because it has Chad Gable on it.
Yes.
There we go.
Thank you.
There we go.
I will say this. I'm not going to sit here and say Raw's the actual best show of the week. But I will say Raw's a lot better than Raw 2 years ago. For example.
Or even 1 year ago.
Oh my days.
Yeah. It's like if you pick and choose.
It's the dark times, the pandemic era Raws, weren't they? When they were like, we're going to have Apollo and Andrade go. Not Andrade, was it Malachi? No. What's his name? Alistair Black. Apollo and Alistair Black go 30 minutes. And you're like, I would like to see that if you let him do stuff. But you just sort of went, and then we'll probably go to a DQ or something.
Let's do a wrestle.
And we're going to debut Zelina Vega's stable, and every time it adds someone new, it still loses.
Yeah, that stable was ass.
Everyone
was good in the stable.
It's getting better, I will say, Craig.
Yeah.
That's the nicest thing I can say.
Yeah. That was a bit serious, wasn't it? Ooh. Raw is actually good because I like mediocre TV. There you go. I don't know. Right. 2 more questions because why not? This video was like 25 minutes already. S. Reed asks, who is the bigger threat to the oceans? Typhoon or the Fiend? Question.
Typhoon, is an obvious suggestion. But that sneaky Fiend, you just never know what he's going to do with saltwater, do you? That's the thing. I was always thinking about him.
He's a saltwater dwelling guy, isn't he? Do you reckon he hangs out with the flat?
I think he drinks saltwater. I think he'd drink half the ocean.
What do you reckon his piss is like? What do you reckon?
What's the Fiend Twitter? Because he's talking about
Fiend's
piss a lot.
Mind.
Fiend's Mind.
He talks about pissing all day.
If you're not following that, you're missing out.
Yeah.
Do you know what I think?
I think Fiend is a friend of the fish.
Right, shut your eyes. I'm not going to do anything weird, right? Picture you've got a glass of the Fiend's piss. Okay, bring it up to your lips. And then, what's that you can taste? Dandelion and burdock. So...
Got an elderflower cardio poured in there. Why not? We've just fantasy booked the Fiend's piss.
Yeah.
Anyway, our last one. This is more of a challenge than a question.
Oh, I like a challenge.
Comes from Mark Smith, who asks me, What is Adam Wilborn's 3 best gimmick impressions? Adam has to do them.
Oh, okay. Hang on.
Get the mic. Number 1, the Iconics.
Oh, I've not done this for ages, and this is going to be...
The inspiration, sorry.
Yeah, well, I can't really do the shout.
Yeah.
Billy Bloody Kane, Peyton Bloody Royce, the Iconics!
Good grief, I forgot
That's
about that.
one.
That's just one.
I might be meeting them over WrestleMania weekend.
Oh, put that in your
Apologies in advance. No, if they've seen this, no chance.
Scream in their ear.
If I get to meet them and Scotty Too Hotty, that's it. I'm going to retire.
Number 2.
Yep.
Cameron Grimes.
Cameron Grimes, baby, to the moon.
And number 3.
Oh, I've gone a bit light-headed, sorry.
Alan the Crocodile.
Okay.
Hey guys, it's me, Alan the Crocodile. You got some food for me? Thanks very much.
That's Alan there.
Take it home.
He can actually do an amazing impression of Colin the Alligator, but you'll have to tune in next week for that.
You'll have to get that on my OnlyFans.
No time for the am finally because, well, we've all got places to be. Let us know your thoughts on everything
Wow.
we discussed, particularly what you think the Fiend's piss tastes like in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to What Culture Wrestling on either iTunes, Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts from for daily wrestling podcasts. We're going to be previewing SmackDown, Rampage, and we've got Wrestle Culture with a hashtag bloody good quiz coming your way later on today. Plus, you can let us know your thoughts and just everything on Twitter at WhatCultureWWE. Watch there, follow both of us. You can follow Andy Murray
at Andy H. Murray. The H stands for Happy Friday, losers. If
Yes.
you know, you know.
Follow me at Adam Wilborn. Follow us all at WhatCultureWWE. But for now, my thanks to Andy, to Alan, to Colin, to you for watching, and we will see you soon.
Sorry, bosses.